This is video 2 of the Roswell building instructions. We're going to start by attaching the elevon to the wing core. We used to do this after we laminated, but now we've learned it's easier and faster to do it this way. Put a 1-inch wide piece of E-tape, which has the fibers running across, and tape the elevon on the back of the wing core. Leave a 1/8 inch gap so that you have some flex room as we get working on the other side. Now we're laying a piece of laminate over the back and ironing not only the wing core but the elevon and the tape all into one unit. Trim the laminate at the front and get it out of the way, and also do the same on the edges. I like to make a few relief cuts in it and then fold those relief cuts up one at a time. And just trim them off. I'm splitting the laminate between the elevons. I'll show you how that works here. We've already done the top. Now I'm laminating the bottom, but I don't want to laminate that piece up onto the wing core because the elevon still has to go up and down. And quick and easy, we've now got a hinge line on the top. Let's do the other side. Take the laminate that started on the top, iron it up onto the bottom of the elevon, cut along the hinge line so that it can move freely, seal it down, and just trim it in. This is much faster than the old method. And trim off the excess. Now things change when we get working on the bottom. I think I'm going to heat shrink a little bit on the top here just to make sure everything's sealed in. Now we're going to fold the elevon up onto the top of the plane and just put a piece of tape there to hold it temporarily. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to leave enough laminate to wrap the elevons plus 2 inches more. So there's quite a bit hanging off the bottom of the wing here. Once again, trim and wrap. I like this laminate. I get far fewer wrinkles in it than I did with other brands. Just wish it came in colors. Now, we're going to split down the middle like we did before, wrap it up, and we're sealing the hinge line right there. That's actually sealing onto the E-tape that's folded up over. Now I'm going to get the elevon here on the bottom and work on the edge here because there is a fold of laminate now on the hinge line right on the end of the wing. And you just clip it with some scissors and fold it in. Now I can seal the bottom edge of the elevon, and then I just iron the rest back up onto the wing. What this does is it gives you 2 layers of laminate and a layer of tape on the top and 1 layer of laminate underneath, and it gives you a good strong hinge that won't tear. The elevons have always been a hard thing to get without warping or wrinkling, and this seems to be the best idea I've seen. Let's do the other side. We've got it taped up. We're sealing the hinge line, which seals it to the E-tape that's up on the top. Got to remember to pull your tape out right there so that you don't seal that tape into the elevon. And then fold it down, do your edge, and then seal that up onto the wing. And you just hinge the entire aileron, and whatever. And then do the trimming on the end. I like using a full-size iron. It has much more consistent temperature, it heats faster, and I can do a lot more surface at once. I have several hobby irons and I hardly use them. Now I'm checking the temperature, just making sure of what temperature I'm dealing with. The laminate sticks well at 180 degrees, and at 220 you start to change the shape of the foam. So that's kind of the band of temperature you get to work in. You also have to beware because sometimes the front of the iron is a different temperature than the back. Now we're going to laminate the nose, and I actually put a double layer up over servos and over the motor box there. And notice also I'm laminating over the E-tape and the Formica plate, and all of this is adding strength to the front structure of the plane. I like to wrap the laminate up and around. If you seal it right on the front edge, sometimes the wind and just the use of the plane will start to peel it back. So wrapping the leading edge also gives you a 6 mil layer around the leading edge instead of just 3, which the laminate is. And then once again, just wrapping that leading edge. Now to open up the motor box, I put a split right down the middle, and I'm going to fold half up and half down. And then I'm going to do it on the same on the bottom. And just split it and cut along the edges so that the inside pieces can be moved. And now I'm just going to bend them over and seal them in and wrap that, which is actually a double layer of laminate, which is also good if your prop ever moves around a little bit, it won't cut right into the foam. Gives you actually 4 layers of laminate right inside the tapered area. Then we'll do the top. One of the things that I have noticed with this is that the motor mount is a little bit hard to get the iron in, but I still worked it down and ironed it in. And there's also some sides where it's just open foam. After this was done, I put some scraps in there and ironed to the sides just to keep them clean. But at this point, the sides are still open foam. Now, just using a razor blade, I'm opening up the radio box and also opening up the battery box. And in the battery, I just pushed it down. And then using a soldering iron, I'm opening up the servo boxes. And then once again, just checking to see that everything fits in place. I'm marking the holes for the motor mount. And it's like I said, I had to put some extra holes in this motor mount so that the screws wouldn't go into the battery box. If you can't drill stainless steel, just put the front 3 screws in and glue and tape the back of the mount and you'll be okay. Now I'm cutting a slit to bring the servo wire up into the receiver, and I just push the wire into the slit. I don't make a gap, it's just a slit, and compress the foam as you put the wire up, and then just make sure everything fits. Now, I want to hold the battery in with a piece of Velcro, and to get access, I'm drilling out the hole in the middle of the stainless steel motor mount and running a cable tie up through that's a Velcro tie to hold the battery and radio in flight. Now start hooking up the radio. I center my horns, my servo arms to get them in the right position and put screws in. I like to bring the Z-bend up and through the servo arm. And I even had to trade my plugs just to get the motion right coming up. I'm marking now where to put the horns with my straight edge. And then I melt a hole so that I get more glue around the horn. And I even drill a hole in the horn to give it a better grip with the glue that's there. This isn't necessary on everything, but the advantage is you don't want it to ever come out. And then I'm putting in the easy connectors. I also cleaned the laminate off around where the horn is glued in the back so that the laminate, it's not peeling off the laminate. Putting the easy connectors in place with the little snap ring and compressing it in place. In the middle of the push rod, I punch a hole right under the push rod and I glue in a staple which keeps the wire from bowing under compression. Now I cheated, I hadn't had the servos glued in yet, but because I wanted black stripes where the servos mount, I pulled the servos out and put my colors in to help hide the servos. Now I'm gluing the servos in. And I put a ring of glue around the top. If you ever have to remove a servo, it's much easier than if you put glue at the bottom of the servo. Now these are the fins. Fins that come in the kit are white. I am doing these so you can see them. I put a row of pins right down the middle and then put some quick grip on the edge, and then I just push the pins right into the wing and let the glue cure. This is much easier than cutting gaps in the fins and taping them on like we used to do. And I haven't had any come off. As long as you've sealed your laminate well on the edge of the wing, this should work well. Now double check your center of gravity. It has to be 9 inches. It won't fly tail heavy. And on this particular build, the center of gravity is perfect, right where it should be without any added weight. Make sure your elevons are moving in the right direction and that you have about 3/8 inch of throw on the elevons. And have fun flying. I really enjoy flying this plane. Thank you for watching.